Patron Warrior can finally pull out a victory, if it's going to be the bane of his championship run.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if this Patron Warrior, if he can close it out, or if, much like me last week, this Patron Warrior may be his downfall. He might just get, might be the deck that he just can't seem to win a game on here.
Yeah, I wonder how often he's had to play Warrior. It's generally, it's a lot of players use it to bait out a ban. I think you mentioned that earlier as well.
Yeah, a lot of players we are seeing. I generally like to play Warrior in tournaments in my lineup, even if I'm not the most comfortable on it, which did lead to me getting screwed over last week with the Patron. But I do like to play it in a lot of my lineups just because it does get banned out quite a bit. Warrior is generally one of those decks that you don't want to see your opponent play. And if you don't want to see your opponent play Warrior, you're just going to ban it most of the time. Most lineups are weak against either Patron or Control in one way or another.
Yeah.
So generally, it's one of those decks that we see get taken out by bans more often than almost any other deck. I think Zoo would, or not Zoo, sorry, Druid would probably be the other deck that we see get banned all the time. But between those two, breaking up a lot of lineups, Druid able to deal with a lot of your Control matchups, and the Patron handles a lot of the aggro mid-range matchups, as well as the Control Warrior could handle a lot of the Control Mirrors and the Zoo. Especially with that Elise win condition, definitely gives them a lot more of an opportunity.
Yeah.
But we'll be seeing a mulligan phase right here, seeing what cards we're going to pick up.
Yeah, game 5, Elefino Open number 17. All coming down to this one game. We're going to have Aaron on his Murloc Paladin that had success earlier. And Mickelgo going to see if he can finally sneak out a win with this Patron Warrior. Last chance. I do like that Mickelgo. He has the Fiery War Axe in his opening hand, so that's going to be a really good start from him. Aaron has not the best opening hand, but not the worst. It's going to be a little bit slower, but that should be okay for him. Mickelgo's gonna want to take it a little bit slow as well. Aaron really glad that he has the Equality Consecrate. So if Mickelgo decides to go off on patrons around those turns, Aaron does have an answer for the first wave of patrons, so that could be a big factor going forward. Aaron has the option to coin Acolyte if he wants to. It would allow his opponent to farm armor if he wanted to, but he would be farming cards, so it would undoubtedly draw out the War Axe if he decides to go with the Acolyte of Pain. So maybe playing around the War Axe. He could just coin out the War Leader. Hero Power doesn't seem very good because of the Armor Smith on board. Would just allow that to farm those tokens.
Yeah, we're seeing Aaron sitting here with a kind of an awkward turn, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't... coining anything out isn't necessarily attractive, so we'll probably just see him hold on to it. But even still, his next turn isn't particularly attractive either. He hasn't really picked up anything that he feels like he can establish on the board. The Aldor is wasted on the Armorsmith. The Murloc War Leader and the Acolyte of Pain both get easily traded by the Fiery War Axe, which the Aldor does as well. It just has the wasted effect, so you generally wouldn't want to play it anyway.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to play the War Leader here and force Mickelgo to have the War Axe and punish you for it. And if not, you get to start clear out some of these minions. So I think you can't just sit here and do nothing. So I think he's going to play it.
Yeah, I think he can either. This is definitely a game that Aaron can afford to try and stall for a while, though. Patrons are very easily cleared up by the Equality Wild Pyro's Equality Consecrate plays. It allows you to clean their board up very easily without making any more patrons. Even if you don't have a clear necessarily, you can even just Equality their minions down to reduce them to 1 health to prevent any more patrons from coming out in the meantime while you clean them up.
Yeah, definitely kind of a pseudo clear.
Yeah, exactly. Just something to hold you over while you slowly work them down. But we already see the Equality Wild Pyro and the Consecrate in hand, so we are going to see those clears for the later turns. But Mickelgo, interestingly enough, lacking that Patron, finding his damage in other sources that may be a little bit harder for Aaron to deal with. The Aldor Peacekeeper, not a very good answer for either the Grommash Hellscream Enraged or the Ragnaros, as it is.
Yeah.
we do see the Equality Wild Pyro to pick it up, but you generally don't want to be burning your some of your only AoE removals to go ahead and Equality Wild Pyro down a single Ragnaros or a single Grommash Hellscream.
No, I think you can afford to pass here. There's not a whole lot of damage on board. He's probably not going to use the weapon, so you're really only taking 2 damage here.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to see anything cleared out this turn. Looking towards these future turns, though, not.
Ooh, sequencing mishap potentially from Mikkelgo.
Yeah, definitely a sequencing mishap. No reason for him to want to play that in any other order than just dropping the Corsair down first. It not only lets him play the weapon that turn, would have actually been able to play it, but even if he didn't have the weapon, definitely either to commit the second armor smith or even just hero power. You just lost hero power there essentially, so cost him 2 armor and cost him a bit of tempo.
But interesting, Mikkelgo saying that was an error could be a sign to Aaron that he has the Deathbite. So might have given away a little bit of information. If he just throws that Deathbite, Aaron doesn't know it was a misplay. He could have said, oh, okay, he's going to drop that Naked Dread Corsair. He must not have Deathbite. But Mikkelgo saying it was an error could be a little bit of information. Or could be a bluff. Who knows? The mind games.
Yeah, the mind games really. Generally, when somebody errors like that, especially when you see that they very easily could have played the Dread Corsair for lower, you have to consider that either he did have the Deathbite, or more so he was just saying it was an error because he did, like I say, even just miss the hero power. Something as simple as that, where it was just 2 free armor that he let go by not doing it in the other order.
Sure. Another Warlock another Murloc getting picked up by Aaron. So we've seen the War Leader already been played, and now we've got the legendary Murloc here, old Murkai. So building up the Anyfin.
Yeah, we do see the old Murkai picked up. So we've got 1 War Leader dead right now, and we do see the Murkai getting picked up. So that's one of the important Murlocs to get killed off, especially early on. If you can get him to have a favorable trade. This board, for example, he could easily get a. Well, he can't get a 2-for-1, unfortunately, with the Deathbite out there, but it would at least force the Deathbite to go off or give him the possible 2-for-1.
Sure.
The Armor Smith is a 3, though, so it will trade cleanly. We're going to see a Consecrate here, interestingly enough.
Yeah, not
Go
terrible.
ahead.
He still has a clear in hand for patrons.
Yeah, definitely still has one of the clears. You can afford to burn 1 of your Consecrates, or 2 of them, or 1 of your Wild Pyros in 1 Consecrate, but you generally can't afford to burn 2 of either one, either way you split it, because you do need them to couple with the equalities to help deal with those patrons later on in the game.
Yeah, both players know this, so Mikkelgo is trying. He's pretty happy to see it baited out. Aaron, not the best answer that he would have wanted to use, but I think it was still the right play.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we do see the patron in hand with no other activator. Definitely less attractive of a play here. But we may see him just drop it and tempo it out anyway. Looks like he's going to opt for the Cochrane here, I believe, to just clear that 1-3. But he puts it back into his hand. Mousing over it a couple times, definitely considering it.
Yeah.
Considering whether or not he wants to just go all in on this patron. Maybe drop a patron, drop another armor smith, go swing the weapon, at least get the 1 activation, and hope your opponent doesn't have a clear. And
even if he does have a clear. Yeah, go ahead. I think you're going to say the same thing, so go for it.
Well, yeah, given that his opponent is playing those equality Wild Pyro clear, that's probably how he's going to have to clear this board regardless. I don't really hate playing the patron here because it does put your opponent in a position where they are wasting a Wild Pyro and an equality on a patron with 0 activators behind it, and he will drop the Unstable Ghoul for the follow-up, but
that's a little surprising to me.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play, well, there's a lot of things he could be trying to do here. I think he's trying to make sure that, like, if he picks up, like, the weapon or, like, weapon consecrate, anything like that over the next few turns, that he isn't able to hopefully clear this as easily. Okay. But this will just get swept up by the Wild Pyro equality in the end.
That's a good point, because it's the Unstable Ghoul does force him to have one of those AoE removals, like he does have in hand, the Wild Pyromancer equality. But if he doesn't have that AoE clear, then it prevents Aaron from being able to pick him off in another manner.
Yeah, it does force him not to be able to use things like weapons or, just getting favorable trades on the board through a combination of, like, old Murkais or Chargers with War Leaders on board, being able to power over them. And I don't actually hate using Unstable Ghoul like this anyway. Losing it sucks a little bit, and you do lose an activator, but I think Unstable Ghoul is the worst of the activators anyway, just because it is the situational activator. I think all the other activators are a lot stronger, and you're okay with giving up an unstable ghoul here in favor of any of your other activators. Not that he had them regardless,
Sure.
and he does at least want to pressure his opponent, force him to drop that, and that does clear the combos, the AOE combos out. So if he had another patron to follow up, not maybe this turn, given that the Doomsayer's in play, but the following turn, then it would have definitely it will definitely benefit him in the coming turn, since his opponent is lacking all those AOE removals now with the Consecrate, the Equality, and the other Wild Pyro gone now.
Yeah,
So
Doomsayer definitely did its job. Came in and used it. He doesn't know it, but obviously Mikkelgo made his turn really awkward, prevented that Ragnaros. So a huge Doomsayer, great timing by Aaron on that.
yeah, and we're seeing Mikkelgo consider his options now, whether or not he wants to go all in on something like Rag. And I think I'm kind of preferential to Rag here because there aren't particularly very good clears. I don't think most Murloc lists are playing anything like Keeper of Oldemon, so you don't have a way to just set it down. And even if your opponent uses something like Equality here to bring it down to a level you can kill it at, it's not very... I think I would be happy to burn my Ragnaros in this matchup to my opponent's last Equality, given that I know at that point that there's no way that they can clear patrons for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it already got the 8 damage in. So
yeah, it's going to get its first
anything.
8 damage in. Yeah, Aldor doesn't do anything, and that's another one of the big kickers, is like that answer that Aaron is playing right here in Aldor Peacekeeper to something like a Dr. Boom that could have come down. Whereas Dr. Boom would have gotten reduced to a 1/7, and while the Boom bots are still relevant, the rest of it is nullified, really. It turns into a token killer. Turning Ragnaros into a 1/8 just doesn't do anything. It just makes your trades against it a little bit better. But the 8 damage is still coming regardless.
Sure. Yeah, super awkward way for Aaron to have to deal with this. Don't see one immediately in hand to actually clear it. So lay on hands.
You can't lay on hands
Not a lot
yourself
great
this
here.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't lay on hands yourself because you'll overdraw by
Yep.
quite a bit. So...
Maybe a Naked Solemn Vigil.
yeah, Naked Solemn Vigil's not terrible. You still have to... I guess you have to drop at least the True Silver behind it, though. He is holding, 9 cards, so he could Solemn Vigil and then play the True Silver, and that would keep him at exactly 10 with his draw step.
Or what about Solemn Vigil, Hero Power, Bluegill? Gives you extra targets for the Ragnaros to hit off and push a little bit of damage to the face. He's going to go with a different play, though.
Yeah, I think this play is okay here. I think recovering the 8 health isn't bad with the Antique Heal Bot, since you're getting the full value out of it. And providing the Ragnaros multiple targets to hit, although he forced the Cochrane out here. At this point, I don't think you really care too much if the Acolyte of Pain gets a lot of value, since you already have the Lay on Hands in your hand. You really actually can't afford to be drawing but so many cards if you're expecting that Lay on Hands to get value at any point.
Okay, fair enough.
And we do see this
Pyromancer
target...
Equality. Not terrible.
Yeah, picks up the Pyromancer Equality, and that's got to look like a really attractive option here. And it's one that he may even have to take. He may just want to go ahead and True Silver clear this Shredder and then blow this board up. You hate to burn your second Equality, but at this point with your hand, it doesn't look like that Ragnaros is really going anywhere, and you really don't play very many outs to deal with it at all. If any. I don't think you're going to be playing BGH and Murloc. It's not very standard anyway. It could be a little tech card, but I doubt it.
What do you think about True Silver first? True Silver down that Shredder, and then use the clear?
Yeah.
Maybe you get a Doomsayer, who knows?
Yeah, that's the line of play I would definitely follow. You have True Silver here just to clear it up because you don't want to have to deal with the minion. And you have to consider that you really don't have anything else to do with your 6 mana this turn anyway. You should actually be able to Solemn Vigil this turn as well. Solemn Vigil costing 0 this turn if he goes ahead with the True Silver Punch Wild Pyro Quality. He would have actually been able to play Solemn Vigil for free to follow it up. Looks like he may punch... Yeah, maybe... so he's just going to concede the Rag to the table, go ahead and clean up this Bone Guard. Cleans up everything but the Rag, and does get to draw a little bit more, but this Rag is going to continue punishing it for 8 damage. Possibly just holding the Wild Pyro Quality. He's either recognizing that he needs to hold it for the Patron, or he's at that point in the game where he's going to force Mikkelgo to put more things on the board that he gets to blow up. Because this 8/8 by itself, while it does pose a very threatening clock, all Aaron really has to do is put more minions on the board to prevent it from guaranteeing the hits to the face.
See what hero power he gets. Oh, a little bit better ones than he had last time. So life tap, as you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, we see that insta smack on life tap. Always going to go for that one first. Patron, being a combo deck, needs to draw its cards, and as we're seeing here, we're lacking one more activator and we're lacking Patron. Easiest way to solve it: pick up the hero power that allows you to draw a shitload of cards.
Oh man, this rag value. I wonder if he was setting up for an anything can happen to clear that off, and that's why he went with the line of play last turn, playing out the minion or playing out the Murlocs. So now he can drop one of these anythings on this turn. Maybe just kill the opponent over 2 turns.
Yeah, it is entirely possible. He's only got the 3 Murlocs in there right now. I do believe we've only seen one of each of the 3, so it's not a particularly powerful anyfin. It does provide at least enough damage to clean up the rag here. I don't know if the second one follow-up would be able to finish, though. If he is, it would only be 6. Well, let's do the math. If double Murk-Eye plus double buff is going to be 6 buff to each, plus the double charger. So the chargers will clash for 12, and the Murk-Eyes should be 5. They should be 11s, I believe, each. So we'd be sitting at 12, 34. So 34 damage. So it does look like he is just going to push for this combo. So yeah, he actually does have more than enough to push lethal here over these 2 turns, even if his opponent can clear this whole board up, which he's expecting his opponent to do here.
Oh yeah, of course. He did buff the Sir Finley Murgleton, if you guys didn't notice that, but he does opt to take that trade.
Yeah, it does buff Finley. Murloc War Leader does buff all Murlocs by a +2/+1, and that is surprisingly relevant in a number of these matchups where you do play cards like Finley.
Yeah.
With a couple decks playing Finley, sometimes that is actually relevant.
What do you like here from Mickelgo? He's got the Grom as the big baddie on the right there. He can use that to clear off the War Leader if he wants to, and hope to see where the rag shots goes to clear off the other minion. Look like he's gonna Armor Smith and Whirlwind to draw a card and some armor first. Not a bad start.
Yeah, not a bad start at all. You definitely, if he just did the math that I did, and he realizes that when he clears, if and when he clears his board, that he is going to have 34, I believe, damage coming towards his face. He realizes that he's got to gain health somewhere. I think at this point he's actually just kind of just fizzling out. He's drawing cards and cycling in hopes that, and he is going to clear this board up at least. But
ooh, the sequencing allows him to not execute that. I was going to point that out. So we'll see if the rag hits it off, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's not going to matter anyway with the second anyfin.
Yeah, but that is important to note that the damage was removed from old Murk-Eye there, so he couldn't have executed it because of the sequencing. But not important to the matchup.
Yeah, and we did see I miscounted that the old Murk-Eyes came out 1 damage higher because he actually got the opponent's Finley, since it does resurrect 7 dead Murlocs,
sure, yeah.
regardless of which side they died on.
Right.
He actually did get the Finley to pick up 2 extra damage. Not that it mattered there, but again, more relevant actions in the game.
Yeah, fun interactions that you got to learn if you want to get to the high skill level that these players are, and just those subtle intricacies in these matchups that it's so easy to forget. But that'll do it. Aaron gonna take the 3-2 victory.
Yeah, we see Aaron bring out, I do believe that was the reverse sweep, brings it back out against Mickelgo. Mickelgo just coming up short with that Patron deck, and, sometimes Patron does have those hard matchups. Definitely could have possibly had a win against Murloc, but I do think, based on Aaron's lineup, he specifically targeted Patron, so I think really, in the end, this is just how Aaron expected the matchup to go. Murloc has a decent matchup against Patron. With being able to use those clears. Reno has a good matchup, as does Control Warrior with Brawl. So the 3 decks he ended up playing against the Patron just kind of rolled over it. I think Mickelgo could have possibly... I think he could have banned a different deck. I think he wanted to possibly play the Druid there. Playing Druid Patron into Druid isn't bad. Not nearly as bad anyway as it is in the other matchups. In fact, I do believe it's slightly favored for Patron, since Druid just has such an awkward way to clean up they have such an awkward time cleaning up the patrons themselves.
Sure.
But Yeah, we do see Aaron bringing it back there with the 3 control decks to close out that patron against Mikogo, and he does get that first place. Gets that little bit of extra money, but more importantly, he gets that extra point. So we'll see Aaron take 3 World Championship points, Mikogo take 2, and Yuri and N-Dash both getting 1 for their 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, let me throw up the bracket so you can see what he's talking about. The prizes on the left side of the screen is exactly what Bear just was going over there, so you guys can overrode that. But with that matchup, Aaron taking the championship. Mikogo going to come in 2nd place. N-Dash got 3rd place by default. Yuri had to go, so he graciously conceded that match over to N-Dash. But that will still give Yuri 4th place, so he's still going to go home with 1 point. So not a whole lot of difference in between 3rd and 4th there. So that's why it wasn't a big deal for him to concede that over. So he's more than glad to do it.
Yeah, not a big difference, just that $5. But the World Championship point, the most important part, all 4 of these people getting 1 point, which is 1 point further on their step. And a lot of people don't really realize this, but having even just 3 or 4 points puts you very high up in the standings. I think to be in the top 100, you only have to have about 4 points right now, maybe 5. Yeah. And so these picking up, for example, Aaron just picking up 3 points right there. I mean, he just jumped himself.
Yeah, if you're not sure how that works, I think we might have just lost Bear just there, but just for hitting legend, if you don't make top 100 legend, then you get 1 point in the Hearthstone Championship Tour standings. So that's equivalent to getting 3rd or 4th place in just one of these tournaments. So one day of work, you can get the equivalent, or more than the equivalent, of just hitting legend for an entire season of Hearthstone play. So we're just about to wrap it up here, so that'll do it for us. We'll go do a quick thank you to Strivewire. If you're not familiar with Strivewire.com, they're a website that hosts a lot of open tournaments, both European and North America regions. So if you want to get involved in the open Hearthstone scene, definitely check them out. And you can start your path to the world champion of Hearthstone potentially. But that'll do it for us. I want to thank the players for watching, or for thank the players for playing in the tournament. Thank you all for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. The next tournament will be next Sunday. The tournament itself starts at 12 p.m. Central Time. If you're interested in getting on that, check out Strivewire.com. You can sign up for Elefino Open number 18. The stream portion will take place at the same time it did today. The stream will begin at yeah, we lost Bear just there. You see? Oh no, I think you can still see him. I don't know if we lost the audio. We lost the audio. We lost your audio. That's what it was. But yeah, so the stream portion will begin at 6 p.m. Central Time on the same channels. You can check out either my Twitch, which is on the screen there, twitch.tv/ElefinoHS. Firebat is also generously allowing me to stream these tournaments on his channel. So his is twitch.tv/hero_Firebat. So either check out either of our channels. It makes no difference to me. If you're interested in checking out some of the previous Elefino Opens, they are all on YouTube. This one will be up either later tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I get that in gear. So just go on youtube.com and do a quick search for Elefino Open, and you'll see them all there. If you don't mind dropping me a subscribe, that would be awesome. But if just checking them out is awesome in itself. So, Bear, just now that we got your audio back, any closing statements before we turn it off?
No closing statements. It was a really great tournament. We got to see a lot of cool matches here. You guys can check me out. I'm just getting my Twitter and my Twitch set up, but it should be twitter.com /Beardress, if that's how Twitter's done. I kind of forget. I don't use it very often.
Yeah,
or twitch.tv/TheBeardress. I'll be streaming Hearthstone hopefully coming up here within the next week, getting my whole rig set back up, and streaming climbing into Legends, streaming tournaments when I'm playing them, streaming anytime I'm casting, as I do try and cast as often as I can. Hopefully get to cast this one next weekend, assuming that we got no other takers.
Okay.
We jump back to that one.
Yeah,
and
we shall see.
yeah, be playing some other games. So go ahead and check it out. Throw me a like and everything. Getting it all set up right now. So if there's no stream yet, That's why. But feel free to PM me on Twitch or anything if you have any questions. And thanks for letting me cast this with you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I really appreciate you joining and your valuable insight. You're a high level player, and we look forward to seeing great things from you in the future in open tournaments and maybe even farther. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for you going forward. Really exciting. But that'll do it for us. One last thank you. Really appreciate you watching. Have a good one.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, they just walked right through it. Yeah, but that was cool. Awesome. No, you guys are good. No, we're like done. We just closed out. Oh, whew. Yeah, nerves actually not as bad as I expected it to be. Yeah, I expected to be a lot more nervous than that, but settled in. Whew. Oh yeah. No, you're cool. Yeah. So Firebat normally casts these with you, right? Yeah. He gets it. Is there any way? Have you ever tried casting with 3 people by chance? Okay. Yeah, just too many voices over talking, definitely. Hmm. Yeah. They have a lot of time. Yeah, certainly. But yeah, man, like if he's not casting, then like anytime, feel free. Like I'll probably be around Sundays and stuff, and like I'd definitely be interested in like playing some or casting some more. I'd probably definitely be playing, but definitely looking to get more into casting. I really enjoy this sort of thing, so. Definitely some good practice too, so. Yeah, exactly. Like